There are sellers building six-figure businesses selling AI art as digital downloads on Etsy. These digital prints can sell to anyone in the world at any time, but the trick is designing art that sells. My name is Alec, and I started my Etsy shop at the end of 2023, and within my first year, I was doing months like this. And in this video, I want to share that there is a method to the madness. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete template to create art that makes sales in just a few seconds. And at the end, we'll cover exactly how to post these to Etsy with just a few minutes of work, not a few hours. So let's go ahead and get into it. So like I said in the beginning, there are sellers making six figures a year selling AI art as digital downloads on Etsy. And Fairy Prints is one of them. This seller has actually been around for a while, 7 years, and I was watching their come up as I was starting my shop, and they only had a few sales to their name. But within the recent about a year, they have absolutely exploded, okay? So they have 50K sales, similar to some other shops like Lexington Prints that have just been around for only 2 years. But if we analyze their shop here with the Everbee research tool, and we go to their overview tab, I'll just zoom in a bit. Their estimated monthly revenue is $14,537. And what's cool is this is a post once and sell forever business. So they just post these art designs to their Etsy shop and they can sell over and over to anyone in the world. They could sell to someone in Germany at 5 o'clock or the Bahamas at 7:30, right? So the difference between art that makes six-figure sellers like these and art that makes no sales at all is actually just a few nuanced differences that we can actually templatize. So I already pulled up a couple of designs from Fairy Prints here, one of which is this sort of winter ice skating little village scene. Again, we have another winter ice skating village scene. These are all winter designs. It's around the end of November right now. We have a winter Christmas tree in the forest and then another Christmas tree in a village, okay? So these are all village, holiday themed, but they're general winter enough that they could sell after Christmas as well, which is something to look out for. It's kind of a pro tip. So I'm actually going to give away exactly how I would create art like this, plus all the resources I used to do it for free down below, okay? So that all starts with a prompt in the AI Art Sellers Collective. This is my community. You can check it out down below. And we're actually going to go into the AI Art Showcase tab. Scroll down a bit. There's a ton of prompt drops, as you can see. And we're going to scroll to this print right here, okay? So these are some amazing holiday themed prints. We have this ice skating scene, right, which probably looks familiar from what we were just looking at, right? And this is what we're going to focus on. And there is another vintage, more like rustic, timeless style design right here. We'll talk about that in another video. But for now, let's just focus on this prompt because we can remix and recreate this prompt to create tons of different scenes like we just saw. So let's scroll up a bit and check out the prompt. You can see it's actually pretty simple, right? We'll zoom in on this. Oil painting of a group of children ice skating on a frozen pond under twinkling Christmas lights strung between trees. They laugh and play, bundled up in winter coats and scarves while families watch nearby, creating a joyful holiday scene in the evening glow. 5:4 aspect ratio, style raw, stylize 500, okay? And if you're new to Midjourney, we're gonna walk through all this in just a second. So first and foremost, I'm actually gonna go ahead and highlight this and just copy it with Control-C. And now I'm not just gonna paste this into Midjourney or try editing it myself. I'm actually gonna use a resource that, again, is free in the description, and it is actually a custom designed best-selling art creating AI, okay? So if I go into the resources tab in my community, I can click it right here, Atlas Muse, okay? And all I have to do is click his link and it'll bring up this AI that we can just sort of go back and forth with as much as we want. This thing has been tirelessly trained on all the patterns that create best-selling art, stuff that I've used, stuff that I've seen from other shops. And yeah, it's just, I'm really proud of it. And yeah, you can find it for free in the description, but we're gonna walk through it right now. So if you remember from the Fairy Prints designs, it was ice skating, village, city, skating print, right? Ice skating, village, Christmas print, right? Winter tree print in the forest, and then winter tree in the village, right? So what are the common themes here? Trees, village, winter, right? Holidays, cozy lights, right? Nice like brushstroke texture. So let's kind of keep those in mind, right? And this is all we have to do when we go to Atlas Muse. We're just gonna literally tell it kind of the themes that we want and then paste in that prompt and then we'll be good to go. So let's go ahead and do it. Hey there, Atlas Muse. Hope you're having a good day today. We're looking to create some best-selling kind of holiday winter designs, specifically like ice skating, village, Christmas tree, and even some like winter landscape scenes with forests. We want these all to have just like painterly texture, oil paintings, Yeah, like a really cozy vibe. Think you can give us some prompts? Thank you. And then last but not least, just to give it some guidance, we'll enter down, paste in our prompt like that, and then just hit enter. Okay? And it's actually just going to give us a whole bunch of prompts right here in seconds, right? So yeah, oil painting of a group of children ice skating on a pond, right? So pretty similar, right? A little bit different though, a little bit different style. They used an artist reference there. Snow-colored village with lights, cabin, right? This is all great. One thing is Atlas Muse likes to preload these prompts with different styles and aspect ratios, but I'm actually going to get rid of those. Please get rid of all suffixes like AR, stylized, etc. And it'll just regenerate them, right? Because we want to control these in Midjourney to our liking. So we'll just let these generate. And then while they're generating, we're actually going to move over to what I think is the best, most amazing AI art design tool that exists out there. And that is, in fact, Midjourney. Okay, there are a ton of other tools, and you can use whatever you want. Obviously, there are multiple ways up the mountain, right, to make these best-selling designs. But I love Midjourney. I just think it creates the best, like, painterly texture, and it's just easy and fun to use. So that's going to kind of be the AI art design mode of choice. So first things first, we have to set up the settings in Midjourney. These look a little crazy, but it's actually really simple. And essentially, we're just going to set up our aspect ratio and our style level. That's really it. We're going to keep the mode as raw here, and I'm personally going to keep the version as 6.1. I like the version of 6.1. I think it's a little bit better than 7 for some of these oil painting designs like these, but of course, I mean, there are other prompts you can use with V7 to make amazing designs too, so do whatever you want. So first things first, let's go ahead and change our image size ratio. I personally like doing 4:5, which is, you can see it right here. It's like a vertical, kind of wide, but also tall design. I just think it provides a lot of great space, and then you can sort of crop down from there to create your upscaled files for your listings. Following that, we do have an important choice to make, and that is style level, okay? If we look at some of these prints from Fairy Prints, they have a pretty low style level, right? Like, it's not super photorealistic detail, you can tell. Very low style. This one maybe is a little bit higher compared to something like this. But still, let's go ahead and try to recreate this low style level, because obviously it crushes, right? You have 40 sales there, 184 sales, 300 sales, 313 sales. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back here. And I'm actually going to lower this all the way down to 100, okay? So this is pretty low. We're just gonna see what happens, right? We're going to see what Atlas Muse can do for us. The rest of this looks good. Like I said, style raw, I personally prefer. It just kind of makes your prompts drive the generations a little more than standard, where Midjourney does some like auto beautification. And yeah, I recommend keeping this on fast. I'm doing turbo just for the sake of this video, and you can leave all this alone. So I'm going to close this. Now, if we go back to Atlas Muse, we have all these prompts, right? And, you know, in a perfect world, we could just copy these with Control-C and paste them in like that. But it actually doesn't work like that, and this would just create one big prompt, like with all this text, right? So there's actually a solution, a little automation tool I built to make this more streamlined, because as I'm generating, I thought it was a total pain. So this is also totally available for free in the link in the description below. And it's also in the community. It's actually another custom GPT, Vega, the permutation warden, okay? And this guy's pretty sweet. So what he does is he manipulates your prompts and turns them into Midjourney ready permutations, okay? And if that doesn't make sense, just check this out. So real quick before we get into it, you have to choose whether you're on the basic or standard Midjourney plan or pro or mega, because that changes how the permutations are structured, okay? Just these little prompt batches. So I am actually on the pro plan, so I'm gonna click this. I recommend the pro plan. I think it's a little bit more expensive, but it gives you 12 concurrent generations all at the same time, right? And that's pretty cool. So now he's ready to go. He's already primed. It's just as easy as that. You just pick that little question, and then all you do is paste in all your prompts and then hit enter. And what it'll do is actually generate one big block prompt. And you can see it here, right? With brackets and special commas that are escaped, all with the goal of allowing you to hit copy right here, go into Midjourney, delete that, and just paste. And you can see, I mean, it's pretty similar to what it was, right? But because we have these brackets, because we have these little escaped commas, it's actually going to separate all those prompts into their own generations, right? This is like Midjourney code kind of. Seriously. So all I have to do is just hit enter. And it split up each of those prompts into their own prompts, like as you can see here on the right. So yeah, pretty slick. This is my go-to for generating art. The Atlas Muse Vega combo. You can just get the big list prompts, throw it in there, copy the batch into here, and then you're moving and grooving. I mean, you can create like hundreds of designs in a couple hours. It's pretty slick. But with all that said, let's go ahead and just check out these designs and start curating them for our shop, shall we? So first and foremost, if I expand this right here, I mean, these are great. They really came out with that low style level that we were looking for. And I'm a huge fan. So there's kind of a lot to look for in these. I'll try to talk through what I'm thinking as I look through these. This one I love. It's really, really low style level. You can see it's kind of like grainy, but that's like a perfect vintage aesthetic, right? So we'll upscale subtle this. A couple of these are pretty good. Sometimes when there are like these faces, they look a little strange. So like this one's close to being good. This one's close to being good. I actually think this one's quite good, right? All the ice skates look pretty good. Everyone's got a nice face. The nice landscape looks good. We'll upscale subtle that. And then we can keep going to new generations like this. Ooh, wow. So you can see right away, I mean, this is just super soft brush strokes. Everything is really clear. I mean, like, you compare that to this town print that we saw from Fairy, like, boom, boom. That's crazy. But in my opinion, I mean, this one might even be framed a little bit better. This one's good. Obviously a little bit more kind of crazy, like a little bit more of a spastic vibe. This one's pretty good. This is too distracting. Snowy rain. That tree's a little too skinny for me. Ooh, these are nice. Wow, I like this one. I like how you're looking through and you see the tree in the background there like that. Very nice. I think I like the first one too. Signatures, we've talked about this before, but obviously you can leave them or you can just click edit, squiggle it out like that and hit submit, and it will actually regenerate just that part. So let's keep going from there. Ooh, wow, yeah, these are very nice. Oh my gosh, all of these are great. This one's good. Lighting and colors are a little kind of like white out, which is a little too much for me. This one I like. This one's almost like a drawing, so upscale that. This one's much softer. Tough. We'll go ahead and upscale this one. This one's pretty good. I like the sunset. I don't like how dark that smoke is, but you know what? We'll upscale it too. I actually really like all these. Okay. Doing a little kumbaya right there. That's fun. Some of these are a little... I'm just not a fan of any of those, really. This guy's really going hard, bringing in the groceries in one trip. Yeah, not horrible, but just kind of like weird. These are nice. A little too, I don't know, like humdrum, drab. I kind of like this one, though. Some people like the humdrum drab, you know? So we'll upscale that. A little bit busy from what my first opinion here. These could have potential. Ooh. I like this one as long as everyone looks good. Some guys look a little weird. Let's try doing a very subtle and then another very subtle. Right? Yeah, I think that's good on those two. Okay. Bridge with lanterns. Sometimes bridges don't do very well. I will call that out right now. Sometimes they do. I have found that they just don't really sell that well. Okay, and then we're back to our upscales, right? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, and then our very regions here. So remember we changed that signature in the bottom right. Let's just quick scroll through them. I like this one. Looks great, looks great, looks great, looks great. So then we have our very subtles. And let's just go ahead and look through these. Ooh. look at this one. I think this one's great. Everyone's looking good. There's a bunch of little teamwork going on. Some of these other ones, the people down here look way too big. This one's pretty good too. Oh, tough. What do you guys think? This is a little strange, whereas I feel like it looks a little more natural here. I think I'm going to go with this one, okay? So then this was the second one. Okay. Ooh, well. I think I don't want to upscale this one. Yeah. I don't like the way some of these houses look down here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and skip that one. Then we have our upscale here, and then our upscale here. And that's kind of all there is to it. Yeah. If you scroll up, we see all of our upscales, all the varies we were just going through, right? We were just scrolling through all this. And that is really all there is to it. And if we want, it really is as simple as going back to Atlas Muse and just talking to it and saying, can you give us more designs like these? Maybe change up some of the subjects. Give us more, I don't know, forest scenes, maybe like landscapes. But yeah, thank you. All right. And it's already kind of fine-tuned on, first of all of its best-selling training data and stuff like that. And second of all, the prompt, we sent it up here, right? From that prompt drop, which, by the way, show that below. And then we'll just go ahead and hit enter, and it'll regenerate all new prompts based on all that best-selling data, right? And then we can just fire up Vega, copy all of this info like that, go into here, paste it in. We don't even have to tell it anything. We don't have to say, here are some more prompts or anything. Like, it's already ready to intake more. And then you just hit copy code, and then you just go right back up here, and then you just go ahead and paste it in, right? It's as easy as that. And these generations are extremely fast too, like, because I'm on turbo mode especially. But Midjourney, I mean, it's just very, very fast, which is awesome. So let's just go ahead and run through these, right? Wow, these are sweet. This little guy down here. Man, I actually don't know if I like the little guy. I feel like it'd be almost better without him. So let's go ahead and click edit. And I'm just going to go like that. And I'm just going to get rid of the lone traveler with the lantern, right? Let's just see what happens, right? Done. Okay. Not bad, not bad, not great. This guy looks a little funny. Some of these are quite nice. I don't know why I like this one. The steam, or mist, or whatever you want to call it. The forest and the reflection. Sold. Okay. Ooh, this is a nice action shot. I like this one a lot. You can see the snow kind of falling. Okay. This one's a little too creepy, I guess, for lack of a better word. That's creepy. If you were doing like a dark academia or like a kind of moody oriented shop, this might be perfect. But I don't really do stuff like that. I know a lot of people in the group love doing stuff like that, but ooh. Spooky, yeah. They really went spooky with these. Aw, hey buddy. Couple good landscapes. And then we're back. So let me just go ahead and pick my favorite. I think I like this one. Upscale subtle. That's all there's to it. We just got a couple with that last batch, but like the cool thing is, I mean, you can just keep running it over and over and get a whole batch of 100 or whatever you want. So next we're going to go into the organize tab, and I'm actually going to download these once this is done upscaling. Okay, so let's go ahead and wait for that. Okay, so now that everything is fully upscaled, you can go to this organize tab, and you can actually just sort by upscales only. And you can see just our upscales, right? We have 13. So you can either do a drag box like I just did, or you can just select all from today and then just click download. And we're going to get all these designs downloaded onto our computer as PNGs in seconds, right? So I'm kind of talking through this, but like if I just pause here for a second, I mean, you can see like it's pretty straightforward and simple, especially when you have the right tooling. I'll just save this quick right here. A lot of sellers don't exactly have the automations like this and that. So it makes it a lot more troublesome and just like a lot more manual work to create the prompts and then automate them into Midjourney over and over. And even just knowing what to look for. So yeah, that's why I wanted to create these 2 GPTs and just make them free for all you guys watching this, right? Plus the prompts. So yeah, because it's just, I think this business is amazing. You can see sellers are obviously cashing out like fairy prints, right? But sometimes creating the designs is just like this black box with no instructions, right? And like I felt the same way when I started. So yeah, I just kind of want to like crystallize the learnings and lessons as I was learning them, and turn them into custom AI assistants that you guys can use too. And the one other thing I will say is with fairy prints here, I mean, they've been around for a while, but they have 1,144 listings, right? So that's not a small number. And they make their 14-ish K a month, right? But if we go to like Atlas Vintage Prints, another shop I love highlighting in these videos, so they've actually got to this 42K sale mark, right? So just a little bit shy of fairy prints, but only in 2 years. And they have 1,600 listings, right? And just to kind of complete the loop here, these guys do, I think, 9K plus in estimated revenue. So, I mean, that's pretty solid as well, right? 9,345 monthly revenue. So for only being around for 2 years too, like that's great. But like I said, 1,600 listings kind of adds up. And like you could probably get the feel for like, okay, I could crank out 1,600 listings, right? By doing this little Vega Atlas Muse wombo combo method. But the hardest part, honestly, is posting and cropping and writing titles and tags and kind of like all the clerical SEO, Etsy, Photoshop stuff. And on top of that, most people don't even know where to start. Like what sizes do I upscale to? How do I crop things, right? What do I do for my description? So with the rest of the time in this video, if you're okay with it, I just wanted to walk through sort of exactly how I would do this and how I use the automation system that around 300 sellers are using to automate this business. This whole automation you just get for being a part of the AI Art Sellers Collective with the link down below. So this is the system that I built out of necessity when I first started my shop. It's what got me to where I am. Yeah, and like I said, I mean, it's what 300 sellers are currently using to scale their shops on autopilot, and it's pretty slick. If you want to check out the link, you can look at some of the testimonials on that about page. I mean, it's like a game changer for Etsy sellers. So I'm pulling up Photoshop here. This is a key piece of the automation system. Essentially, the script runs on your computer, but it uses Photoshop at every turn to crop and upscale and mock up and save files, okay? So it uses this Photoshop scripting environment. So I know that might sound a little crazy, but it's actually extremely simple, right? And in fact, like here's the script, right? So you just run it once and it creates these little folders, and all you do is put your art into input. And as long as you have mockups and mockups, it'll just run the art through all your mockups and crop and upscale them and just put them into output. And it can do that for any amount of art. Like here's the Midjourney session we just downloaded. If I go ahead and copy these, I'll just hit Control C on my keyboard, go back, and then just Control V to paste them into the input folder, right? So here's our designs, right? Looking good. So this is actually all you have to do. And like as long as you have your mockups in the mockups folder, everything will trickle into the output folder, okay? So I'm gonna go into output, and remember we're doing 4x5 vertical, right? So I'll go into there. I got nothing going on, right? But if I do File, Scripts, Browse, and then I go into my folder, all I have to do is double click the script or just click load right here, and it'll pull up the window, and then the script pops up with its actual window. It's just one screen. I tried to make everything as simple as humanly possible, right? And honestly, in the spirit of simplicity, all you have to do is hit OK. There are a couple other settings you could select if you were doing horizontal or frame TV, right? But like for the simplest path, all you have to do is just hit OK. It'll create cropped images, mockups, and optionally a video if you had that included. We don't for this example, but I'm just going to click OK. And you can see what it's going to do is it's just going to start cranking. So it's pasting our little winter forest scene, that one with the yellow, into each of our mockups. It's opening the mockup, opening the smart object, pasting it into the mockup. Boom, 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 right? And if I open this up, I don't want to have all that flashing going on. You can go into mockups, bing, bada, boom, right? It's actually pasting this art design into all these really nice looking mockups in seconds. And you can see how fast it's going. So we got this guy, 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 right? And it's just going to keep cranking and cranking. And then after it's done doing all the mockups, if I just go back a folder, it actually goes into this cropped images folder. And you can see right there, it created these 5 ratios, 2x3, 3x4, 4x5. You can see it's like this one's a little thicker, this one's a little thinner. If I go to details here, I'll just add dimensions. You can see the pixel dimensions right there. So these are like ready to upload to Etsy as the product, the digital files that the customer would download and print out and frame, right? And that's why we offer it in these different sizes. So yeah, that's pretty much all there's to it. If I just go back a bit, oops, you can see it's already on 11. It's just doing the mockups like this. Yeah, so it's already on the mockups. It's already actually probably on 12. Yep, so it's on to 12, cranking these, right? I really like this one. Yeah, so that's pretty much all there is to it. I'm just going to go ahead and let this finish. Obviously, we had 13, so this is something you can run and go fill up your water bottle or go make some lasagna or whatever you want to do. And then we actually just drop them into Downpour, the bulk upload software that we're going to show in just a second. And it does all the rest of it in essentially just one click. Actually, it's 2 clicks, but yeah, it does all of it on autopilot. So I'm going to let these finish and then we'll get into Downpour. So now that all of our folders are actually done and their output is all prepped and ready to go, I can go into Downpour, the bulk uploader for Etsy sellers that you get as a part of the AI Art Sellers Collective, and just go into the one simple and straightforward screen for bulk uploading. And this actually has extra AI features that does a ton of automatic stuff while you're uploading. And we're going to walk through it in just a second. But first and foremost, you can probably see that there's a big blank section right here for listing image names. Okay. This is where we fill in the mockup names that we want to include. So for example, right, like coffee mug on shelf.jpg. Maybe we want that to be our primary, or Xmas above fireplace 2.jpg, right? So we could like type all these in one at a time. That's what we used to do in Downpour back when I first launched it. But now we have a pretty cool little shortcut here where you can click this little camera icon and it'll open up this paste area. And all you have to do is open up your folders like we just had, hit print screen, also known as like PRT-SC on your keyboard sometimes, and just copy your JPEGs like this, and then paste them in like that. And what it's going to do is actually use AI to read your little screenshot and paste in the text into all of these, right? And then it's just up to you to like rearrange them however you like, right? Pretty cool. So that's the way to do that. We also have 20 image support, which is pretty dang cool in my opinion. Yeah, it's just everything you can do on Etsy, you can do in Downpour in bulk, right? So you're kind of setting up a template here. You can add static files, listing videos, static videos. You can see my digital files I already filled out. So it's just those names, right? Because the cropped images all have the same names for each of the different designs, right? It's always called 2x3, so that's how it knows. You fill out your listing details like these. And that's all there's to it. Same with the description, right? I have a little example right here, and it actually is going to use AI to write, little dynamic pieces of the description. Okay, I'll show you that in just a second. But I'll go ahead and collapse that. And like, seriously, that is all there is to it. So I'm just going to go back and go back one more. Okay, so here's all of our big list. Each of these have a mockups and cropped images folder inside of them. And I'm actually just going to go back one more time and drag and drop this big parent folder, right? So it's got all those little children inside of it. And I'm just going to drop it into the drop area like this. And what it's going to do is it's going to break apart the tree and group all of those folders into their own listings based on kind of the images and the files we just filled out. And what it's going to do is pop up everything into Downpour as its own listing and just start uploading, right? Boom, boom, boom. You saw it right there. So here's V10, right? The little forest scene right there. Another forest scene, right? V11. All these are in their order that we specified at the top. It's uploading the files as we speak. And before I kind of scroll through these, the one thing I want to do is open up the AI Autogenerate panel and just pick the clearest mockup, right? So for this example, maybe we'll choose 2, right? This is a pretty clear one. Normally that'd be your primary. I'm just kind of using these Christmas mockups right here. And all I'm going to do is just click Autogenerate. And what it's actually going to do is it's going to grab this image, right? Or whichever image you specify, send it to AI on the back end that has been like meticulously trained on tons of best-selling titles and tags. And with your art image, plus this little title, plus all of its reference data, it is actually going to write custom titles and tags for all of your listings, right? So if we scroll down, we can see a bunch are popping into existence, right? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. And on top of all this, you can see it's doing title, tags, and these little keywords for our listings too, right? So you might say, what does this mean? Like season, winter, subject, children, right? If I view the description here, immerse yourself in vintage winter charm. So if you remember in the description, I had season in curly braces in this vintage style printable wall art of, and I had subject in curly braces here. And so with AI, it filled it into children ice skating on a frozen pond. I love children ice skating on a frozen pond. So that was a test. I just said, I love subject, right? And then after that, it also does AI alt text too. So on top of all of this other AI stuff, right? Cozy winter activity artwork for family room, delight impressionist painting of children playing on ice surrounded by soft snow, right? And it tries to like, we spent a ton of time spreading the wealth kind of with the SEO and like different rooms and just different keywords, and it's Etsy and Google optimized. Yeah. So this is just some pretty solid stuff. So essentially it's all entirely passive. And if you want, you can just scroll through, right? Like check out the titles: Winter Path through Birch Grove, Cozy Snowy Landscape, Moody Winter Trees, Rustic Country Art, Golden Horizon Scene. Very nice. Printable download 8. It includes an index. You can keep track of these later, and do a brand new feature that is about to release called Smart Swap. You're going to see a demo of that very soon, and that is super cool. It'll allow you to essentially do this drag and drop that we just did, but with existing listings on Etsy. And you can be like, I want to switch out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drag and drop, swap them out, and it'll happen for every single listing because it's mapped with this little number. Right? So 8 matches with 8. So that's going to be crazy. But anyway, scroll through the listings, just make sure everything looks good. And then all you have to do is just click upload. Boom. And then it'll just upload everything live to Etsy. It actually only creates draft listings, but they're going to be like in your Etsy draft listing section, ready to go. And in fact, I'll just show you right now. If I pull this up, oops, I'll go to Etsy right here. And in my draft listing section, you can see it already created one, right? It's got the listing details we provided, $9.99, price is $9.99 too. And you can see it's uploading the mockups as we speak, right? Mockups, alt text, looks good. Except for that. Digital files, right? So this is the actual product that the customer would download. Looks great. Description: winter wall art of a serene winter forest landscape. I love a serene winter forest landscape, right? So description, wildcards all look great. Price, quantity. It also includes the index and the SKU if you don't want to include it in the title. So, you have full control. And you can even add these attributes as well, like vertical and aspect ratio selections, right? So that's in, if I scroll up to the top a little bit here, right here in show additional attributes, you can fill out like vertical, aspect ratio, everything, literally everything you can do on Etsy, you can fill out here in Downpour, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so that's pretty much all there is to it. It's just sort of uploading as we speak. Everything is going into your draft listings on Etsy so that you have the final say to go like this and publish them so that they're live out there on Etsy generating sales. So that really is all there is to it. And I hope you can see, like, we didn't have to go into Photoshop and crop anything or do anything special. Like, we just set up the script, put everything into the input folder, and then sort of like ran that conveyor belt to get all that output folder, all the output folders. And then we just dropped them into Downpour, which is kind of another conveyor belt, right? Even more advanced conveyor belt. And now it's just sort of doing its thing and everything goes to Etsy, right? So yeah, I don't know. You just think about like Four Sisters or Fairy Prints or Atlas Vintage, right? Like to get to 1,000. Four Sisters is a shop I love. They have 1,500 prints. It's never been easier to get to these 1,500 listing levels, right? And to have quality at the same time. You can also do bundles and Google Drive. Everything is supported in Downpour. This year has been nuts. We've released some of the craziest features like ever in this automation system. There really isn't anything like it. And that's why I'm saying this Smart Swap feature is going to be, yeah, even crazier. Plus some other stuff that I have planned for 2026 that's just going to be awesome. So anyway, I think I'll end it there. This is just finishing up uploading, right? And like we're doing 13 listings. You could have done 130 or whatever you want, right? Obviously it's going to take a little longer to upload, but you can just do it overnight or do it while you're at school or work or whatever else, right? So yeah, it's just really simple and easy, and yeah, it creates actual shops that bring in actual revenue. And I mean, that's the whole point, right? to build a business that just runs passively without you in the background. I just think that's one of the coolest things ever. Plus, like, you're sharing art that is awesome with the world. And I just love that. So anyway, all of the information that I shared in the beginning will be free. Vega, Atlas Muse, and I'll share that prompt as well in the description. The automation system you can get as a part of the AI Art Sellers Collective down below. It's pretty awesome. That community is just like super fun and cool, and we do giveaways, and just there's daily support from me and the group, and yeah. Anyway, check it out if you'd like. The testimonials on that About page just tell the whole story. It's just awesome. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, and I'll see you in the next one.